Good morning, everybody. This is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. First, I'd like to mention that if you guys hear the music playing in the background and it's drowning my voice out, I would love your input. Many times, I don't even go back and double check my videos. I just do them and upload them and go about my day. So your input is so appreciated in regards to being able to hear me correctly. Now, this is my second phone in this last week because of my phone issues. If you guys also are hearing any distortion, disruptions, or you can't hear me with clarity, please let me know, and I'll do my best to fix it myself, or of course get another replacement. Alright, so how I end up receiving things is sometimes it can be difficult. And I have to do a lot of the figuring out. And it's kind of like how my life has even played out anyway. Difficult. I've taken the hard way in pretty much everything in my life. I do everything. I want to take the path that is most difficult. That's the way that I have been. That's my pattern, and of course I know that this path that is the most difficult is going to be the path that has the most reward. If you feel your life is difficult, that it's harder than compared to another individual, one, I'm pretty sure you chose this type of difficulty in your life. But two, because of that choice, you're going to find a deeper resonance, deeper gratitude, deeper appreciation, and you're going to go all the way. It's going to be more worth it, okay? A path that is easily given. I'm sure it still has great reward, but, it's completely different when you've actually had to put in more work. You're going to come out of it in a completely different state of mind, full of gratitude, full of appreciation, full of love. So, what is today's date? This month, again, time is just going by so quickly. Today's the 12th. Why is this? Okay, so I ended up receiving a phrase, the 6th cranial nerve. I was like, oh gosh. I know there's 12 nerves in the brain, which also work with the 12 disciples in the Bible, also connects you to the 12 zodiacal signs, also connects you with the 12 dimensions and above. Today's only the 12th. And I did my research, which took me some time. The 6th nerve within the brain attaches you to the Pons. If you go look at the Pons within the brain, you're going to be pleasantly surprised as to what it resembles. Now, upon research of the Pons acts like a bridge. It's the bridge between the medulla oblongata. It speaks, of course, to the cerebellum, which speaks to the thalamus gland, which, ordinarily, or regardless, it's going to speak to your higher brain. Now, when you are looking at the Pons within the brain. It resembles the falcon of Horus. Very, very interesting. It's very interesting. Now, when you have compiled, tomorrow is the sun and moon in the Pisces via the new moon. And the two fish represents the mind that has been separated, the waters that have been now divided. And this is the biblical story of Moses, the separation of the waters, the division that took place. And it was also the age of Pisces during the season of Christ. When you are looking at the astrological sign of Pisces, you see the two fish. One's at the top and one's here towards the bottom. One's swimming towards heaven. One is trying to reach the higher realms, and the other one is trying to pull it away. They are both tied together by a string, by a cord. Again, one is trying to reach the higher realms, and one is attempting to stay within the lower realm or the waters. And when the Eye of Horus is compiled together, you have both Eye of Ra and the Eye of Thoth. You have the left and the right. You have the sun and the moon. You have the masculine and the feminine. You have the yang and the yin. They have both been unified. Now, upon lots of research, the sixth nerve, regardless of it working with your pons and what it means esoterically or spiritually speaking, the pons is the nerve that allows you to see with your physical eyes. It connects your visuals. That's its main purpose. It also works with breathing. It works with your sleep regulation as well. The bladder control, your swallowing, so even parts of that facial expression there, facial sensations, eye movement, even your posture, equilibrium, hearing. So it's a major nerve that that is not receiving its vital fluid, lots of restriction. Now, because I'm mentioning the face here, or all of these sensations, I have definitely been feeling lots of facial movement, facial vibrations, if you will, instead of movement. Lots of bladder issues, even having dreams of having bladder issues. My hearing has also been kind of coming in and out, where I'm hearing more sound and then coming back to normalcy. So I wanted to add that in. My breathing has been, I can sense that it's trying to improve. Whereas those who have followed me know that I have been embedded with asthma. So I get asthma-like symptoms. Now, this falcon, let's go back to this falcon real quick, because do you remember me saying, don't be afraid of the eagles? Don't be afraid of the eagles. Now, when you also look at the pons, I want you to think, I have been talking a lot about the Alta Major. the Pons, if you, let me see. So although the back of the skull, where the Alta Major, the mouth of God, actually opens, is in the back of the base of the skull, where the neck and the skull meet. It goes into your throat chakra, where it resides close to your throat chakra and works in connection through there. So it works with your medulla and your pons, the pons area, and that's where the sound, the sound of the eagles that I ended up hearing a while back was somewhere mid-face, not within my third eye, although it has risen sometimes and spoke back and forth, where there were two calls of the eagles or falcons, whatever. So how is this working with Pisces? Everything that was divided will become unified, will become one source. Horus is the son of Osiris and Isis, which is the divine child of the Holy Family Triad. When you have, are you thinking about this? Are you thinking about this now, what I just said? This unification is the birth of the child, the birth of the child of the Holy Trinity. And of course, we know that Horus is associated with the falcon, and his name means he who is above. Now, Horus was often depicted with that sun disk above his head. The sun and that disk is always associated with an illumination process. That the third eye, pineal gland, all of the below is now matching the above. It's all unified together. I ended up last 2 nights ago, and I remember seeing this, I think once before, sometime, and I don't know when, and it was this, I'm going to say thing right now, because when I first saw this thing, I didn't know what it was. I couldn't remember what it was, even though it was very familiar. It was in my center of vision, up close. And this thing, this very masculine thing, it was white, not see-through or anything, so, but I knew that it was white, and very masculine and very strong. It was enclosed in this room and kind of like searching and searching. It was picking up objects and throwing it down and trying to find something, almost in a panic-like state. And it came close to my inner vision, where it, as if it was looking at the camera. So we were eye to eye. I can see that it was a cyclops. The cyclops was a mythological creature or an existence at one time or another that represented the ability to see through the third eye, fully opened, being able to see. And I understood it. I kind of was understanding it that because of the relationship between the Pons now in this cyclops, that the unconscious, the things that are not revealed are going to become revealed. Because in order for you to have remembrance, in order to remember, the bridge between the unconscious and the conscious mind must be functioning. That rainbow bridge, or even the antikarana that I have spoken about, without that unification, without bringing it together, without the integration part of it all, we don't know what's taking place. We don't understand, excuse me, we don't know anything about ourselves. The connection has not been built yet. I'm going to go ahead and add to this because we have the physical body, we have the soul, and we have the spirit. Bear with me as I try to really get this phrasing together and to make sense. That just because we have a body, just because we have the soul is part of our personality. It makes us up to who we are. And it comes into play with our monad, but the monad also has to have the spirit attached to it. Otherwise, it's still completely dead, almost, to the point of illumination and true life and true existence. We have to work. Consciousness is always present. But in order to have the illuminated consciousness or Christ consciousness, we have to work for it. It's the struggle. It's that pull between Pisces of that upper fish wanting to go higher and that lower fish wanting to pull you down. The struggle is real. In the Bible, it dictates to live within the Spirit. And that when we live within the Spirit, we will have everlasting life. Those who are willing to continuously work on themselves, who resonate with love as often and as best as they can, are going to be the ones that are going to reach the top. They're going to have to drag that lower fish along with them because they're tied together. Now, when you're also thinking about the waters that were divided, when they are now become unified again within that central part of our mind, giving us that cyclops. If you think about when you are thinking about the vesica piscis, in the center is the fish. You're taking two circles and bringing them into the unity within the center that create the fish. This is also, again, when Jesus was talking about becoming the fisherman. And of course, we all know that the symbol of the fish itself is of Jesus. So we are also, when we are thinking in terms of the water, the fish, where the fish was birthed at, the water is in relationship to Mary, the Virgin Mary. She had to birth Jesus out of the waters, the fish out of the waters. And Christ rose and developed Christ consciousness himself. So I hope this makes sense in relationship to the new moon here in Pisces. Both sun and moon are going to be in Pisces. Both the Eye of Ra and Eye of Thoth. Both masculine, both feminine. Both left and both right. What was invisible will become visible. What was lost will become found. Keep in mind, this is a process. And as I've been working on this video, doing my research today, the back of my neck, where the medulla oblongata, the alta major, connection in the back of the skull, and my entire skull has been tingling, feeling pressure and tingling the entire time. I know that this is the relationship to this video, the upgrades that we are going to experience via this new moon in Pisces. Of course, now we all know that when we are experiencing unification or upgrades within, symptoms are or can be experienced. Lots of confusion, head pressure, crown pressure, anything in relationship to the crown, headaches, dizziness, can be at a result of this. Your speech can also be distorted, very tongue-tied. Difficulty in your swallowing may be experienced as a result of the upgrades within the Pons. And the sixth, the nerve of the sixth of the cranial nerve associated with your eyes. So your visuals can become a little more blurry, or they may begin to stabilize. Remember, I'm giving you an idea here. So if you are experiencing symptoms, negative symptoms, whatever you want to call them, associated with what I just spoke, you might have improvement. Or if you haven't been experiencing anything, you may experience something. There's no right or wrong. No one's going to have it all across the board. Nothing is going to be the same all across the board. Everything could be different. And some people might not experience anything right now, but in time you might, because it's a process. Of course, lower back pain associated with the sexual region is also an area of symptoms that you may experience in your hormones. Of course, your hormones are going to be affected, which means you could be cranky, you can be very tired, you could be breaking out rashes, whatever. All of this is very possible. Just know that when you are experiencing a symptom, you are definitely upgrading. So stay within the power of the gift that you are being given, that you are becoming unified little by little, day by day, hour by hour, month by month. You are becoming unified, and everything is going to make sense. Stay centered, stay in love, and be grateful for where you're at. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to life. Take care.